Hey guys, my name is Todd Derry. This is TD's Fat to Fit, your free online strength and conditioning coach in your pocket. Today we're going to talk about supplements for fat loss that actually work. The ones that will actually help you lose more fat in the same amount of period just by adding them to your strategy. If you're already working out, you've got your diet dialed in, you're doing cardio, you're doing everything right, and you just need a little extra something, these supplements are what I recommend my clients take and the ones I actually take myself. What are they? Berberine, clenbuterol, metformin, acetyl L-carnitine, vitamin D3, and the last one, I'm not going to say I recommend it because I don't, but I have taken it myself, and I'll discuss the side effects, the horrific side effects. The last one is DNP. It's poison. Don't take it. You can't find it anyways, so good luck with that. But it will kill you, and it has killed many people. But I just wanted to go over the side effects and talk about it because it's kind of funny what I went through and what some people are willing to go through just to lose a little extra fat. Please like, comment below, and share this with somebody that you know is trying to lose a few extra pounds. This might help them in their journey. But most importantly, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Help me get this channel off the ground. The first one is clenbuterol. Clenbuterol is a beta-2 adrenergic agonist. Say that 10 times fast. I can't even say it once. All right. Clenbuterol stimulates the heart and central nervous system. It has the opposite effect of a beta blocker blood pressure medicine. Beta blockers reduce heart output. They reduce adrenaline, and they block adrenaline, so the heart pumps slower, it pumps lighter, and it affects the heart and the central nervous system directly. This is the opposite of that. So it works similar to the central nervous system. It works similar to adrenaline and epinephrine. Clenbuterol opens and stimulates the beta-2 receptors, opening the airway in your throat, but this also increases heart rate. Something else it does, it increases basal metabolic rate or thermogenesis, and it has a rapid fat burning effect. By increasing the amount of energy used, it increases thermogenesis, and thus your temperature rises. Studies have shown a 50% increase in fat burning over the same period of time over placebo. So let's say you lose 30 pounds over a strategy or a contest prep or just a diet. If you added clenbuterol, you could lose another 10 to 15 pounds. That's extraordinary. It works. So clenbuterol increases oxygen in the bloodstream, which then directly results in better workouts. You get more strength, more endurance, you can work out longer, and it also has a muscle preserving effect. So if you're trying to be on a really calorie restricted diet, really trying to lose a lot of fat, we will always lose a little muscle in that process. So this protects the muscle from muscle wasting or muscle loss during a really calorie restricted diet, which is great because if you're trying to do a show, trying to stay big as possible, and you want to preserve all that muscle that we've gained over the year or however much time you've been working out. However, there are negative side effects. When I've taken it, I've experienced all of these: heart palpitations, anxiety, nervousness, jitters, tremors, sweating. Well, the last one, heart attack. I'm still sitting here, so that didn't happen. But I did read some studies. There have been an incidence of heart attack. I don't know how often that is. Probably not very. But in terms of what you're going to take typically 60 to 100 micrograms per day. That is the effective dose. Do not take it right away, 60 to 100 micrograms. You will shake out of your clothes. Not a good idea. Start at 20, couple days, go to 40, couple days. So what I'm saying is you take a little bit, and then when those side effects go away, you take a little more. And then you get up to your working dose. Typically that's 80 to 120 micrograms a day, depending on your experience. If you know it doesn't bother you that much, you can take a little more. You want to take it for about 5 to 6 weeks and then take 2 weeks off. Even though you're not getting side effects, it's still working. Thermogenesis is still happening. It raises your basal metabolic rate, and the fat burning effect happens over that period. So just because you're not all shaky and jittery, it's still working. However, your receptors do get clogged. So after a few weeks, after 5, 6 weeks, take a couple weeks off and start again, and you'll be very happy with the results. Next is berberine. Berberine has been around for thousands of years in Chinese ancient medicine. Berberine regulates blood sugar by activating AMPK. And AMPK basically is an enzyme that helps shuttle glucose into the cell as glycogen. It helps it sensitize insulin and also use glycogen for fuel for the future. And new data suggests that it can also help regulate cholesterol. A study recently came out that actually showed that it can reduce plaque size as well. This was a small study, more data is needed, but this is pretty promising. There's no other compound on earth that can do that can reduce actual plaque size. Again, used in ancient Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years, it has been shown through countless studies to be as effective as metformin at regulating blood sugar. No real side effects. Typically, you want to take 500 milligrams 3 times a day. Berberine is a great compound at regulating blood sugar. And as we all know, lowering blood sugar is key to losing fat. Next one is metformin. Metformin is prescription only. It lowers blood glucose by lowering gluconeogenesis in the liver. It increases insulin sensitivity. It promotes BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's neuroprotective and promotes neuron growth. So it's a nootropic. Decreases the amount of sugar that the intestines can absorb and stomach. It has really promising anti-cancer effects. Pretty interesting. It suppresses AMPK in a tumor, which then starve that tumor of glucose and then helps apoptosis occur. Apoptosis is the cell death within that tumor. So it can help reduce the size and actually kill tumor cells. It prevents cancer growth in breast carcinoma by reducing an enzyme called HER2. The problem with metformin is there's a few side effects. It's well tolerated at normal amount. However, there are several side effects you might encounter. Drowsiness, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, weakness, fatigue, sneezing, chest discomfort, confusion, cough, headache, muscle aches, sweating, stomach ache. These are all very closely related to hypoglycemia, right? When you have really low blood sugar, you get all of these side effects. So you want to eat when you take it, and that way you'll reduce some of these side effects. And it really depends on your glucose levels. So when you get your glucose checked, depending on how bad that is or good it is, will dictate how much metformin your doctor will prescribe. Again, this is prescription only. So you got to go see your doctor and talk to them about getting a prescription for metformin. Now we're going to talk about acetyl L-carnitine. It's a non-essential, meaning the body creates it through the essential amino acid lysine, synthesized in the liver. It is the transport compound for long-chain fatty acids to enter the mitochondria from the systole, which is the area outside the mitochondria, the area within the cell. Highest concentration is in the muscle and the heart. Again, that's where we utilize a lot of fat for fuel, especially the heart. And that's why you see a lot of lipolysis during that process, because carnitine is shuttling the fat into the cell, into the mitochondria for fuel. Acetyl L-carnitine will not work if you are not exercising. They see zero benefit when you do not exercise. So it's not a supplement that you can just take like metformin or berberine or clenbuterol and actually see some results, minimal at best, but berberine and metformin you can take and not work out and it will help. Clenbuterol, not as much, and acetyl L-carnitine even more. If you don't work out, it's not going to help you. The theory is the more transport compounds you have in the cell, the higher ratio of fat you will be getting to shuttle into the mitochondria for fuel. Basically, the more taxis in the city, the more people move around, right? And a lot of data has shown this. It has shown that 20 to 45% increase in fat burning during workouts. So if you're at a fasted state and you haven't eaten recently, you can take L-acetyl-L-carnitine and make sure you have enough of this essential amino acid to shuttle that fat into the cell. And that way you won't have any problem or any issues with that. So studies do show an increase in lipolysis during exercise. It's very well tolerated. Not really side effects unless you take too much, but when you do, nausea, diarrhea, stomach ache, the normal oral issues that you would take if you took too much of anything, you see nausea, diarrhea, stomach ache, gas, bloating. Something that you do see, which is correlated to higher fat lipolysis or fat burning, is an odor in your urine, odor on your breath, and odor in your sweat. It's sweet. It's like rotten egg sweet. It's awful. And that's the odor of ketones. And ketones is the byproduct of fat metabolism. So this is obviously indicating you're burning more fat. The way you get rid of it, just you add a little more protein to your diet and add a little more fat to your diet too. So that way your body recognizes ketones as a fuel earlier. Shouldn't last much more than a week or so. But it is showing you that you're not eating enough. Eat more fuel and that will subside. The odors in your breath and your urine and your sweat will go away. Next one is vitamin D3. So the body manufactures vitamin D through the essential nutrient cholesterol. It turns into vitamin D2 when it's exposed to ultraviolet light through the sun. And we also get it in our diet. The liver and kidneys then converts the vitamin D2 into D3, and then in the most viable form, vitamin D4, calcitriol. But now, in terms of what vitamin D3 can do for fat metabolism, what happens is the pancreas creates more insulin with higher amounts of D3, potentially reducing the creation of new fat. It reduces de novo lipogenesis. It suppresses fat storage and fat accumulation. It downregulates aromatase enzyme. That's the most important piece. The higher your D levels, the less aromatase enzyme occurs in your body. And aromatase is why we are fat. Basically, the more fat we have on our body, the more aromatase enzyme occurs, and that creates estrogen from our testosterone, plummeting our testosterone and creating estrogen, which is the fat storage hormone. Again, back to the hormone model and obesity model, that hormone is making us stay fat. So how to get rid of the fat? You got to get rid of the hormone that will then release the fat. Get rid of the enzyme aromatase, and then our testosterone stays as testosterone, and then the estrogen plummets, and then the fat can be burned as fuel. Vitamin D is directly connected to gut health, intestinal health, and intestinal permeability, which is tight junctions. Basically, the healthier our endothelial lining is inside of our intestine, the tighter junctions we have, the less toxins get into our bloodstream. It also keeps the mitochondria healthy. It's called a neurosteroid. It plays a vital role protecting neuron growth and neurocommunication, protecting against depression, anxiety, and mental disorders, promotes anti-inflammatory cytokines. It lowers inflammation in the body, decreases C-reactive protein, dramatically improves immune health, and fights against autoimmune disease. Vitamin D3 is essential you take it. Everyone, unless you're in the sun for 2 hours a day without much clothes, you need to supplement with vitamin D. Go get your blood test, go to the doctor, get a blood test, and if your vitamin D levels are under 50, you need to supplement with it. So I've added a chart next that we'll talk about to discuss how much we need. I took a blood test and my vitamin D levels was in the tank. It was like 28. So I took 20,000 IUs a day for 6 months, and it got up into the 60s range, I think 65. So I took another 20,000 IUs a day for another couple months, and now I'm dropped down to about 10,000 IUs a day, and it's at like 78, and it's leveled off at that point. Once levels are restored to a upper higher level, then you want to have a maintenance dose. But you need to have blood tests to figure out where your level is and then how to proceed and change it through whatever strategy you need, and your doctor will figure that out with you. So this is the chart. Again, deficiency is under 20 nanograms per deciliter. 30 is insufficient. So you want to be in the healthy range. And this has an upper level of 100. And I've seen some studies that say you should be under 120. So 100 might be a little light, but anything in the 70s, 80s, 90s, you're doing well. That's optimal health, so to speak. And then here is a dosing guideline. This is a chart you can use. You can look this up on Google to figure out how old you are, how big you are, and where are your levels and how much should you take. And some people say you want to take it weekly and you want to take like 50 to 100,000 IUs a week. Or you take it daily and you'll take 5 to 10 to 20,000 IUs per day. It depends on how you want to get to where you need to be, where your levels are, and just talk to your doctor about it and you can figure out a strategy. And now we've come to DNP, 2,4-dinitrophenol. It's poison. Let's get down to it. It's lawn fertilizer or a compound in explosives. DNP is a very close relative to TNT. Trust me, if you take DNP, you pour it out, and you light a match to it, it sparks. That's how you know it's real. You can actually light a lighter to it, and it burns like sparks on the table. It's pretty interesting. Yes, I've done it. It's one of the first anti-obesity drugs in the U.S. back in the 1930s. But it was quickly made illegal because it was starting to kill people. So it was taken off the market in the late 1930s. What happened was factory workers and miners were breathing it in, and they saw this huge rapid loss of fat throughout the miners who were getting in the residual dust. It works as an uncoupling oxidative phosphorylation to the mitochondria. What does that mean? It starves the mitochondria of ATP. So your ATP go into hyper overdrive because you're starving them of ATP. So they have to create 10 times more to keep up. So what does that do? It leads to the mitochondria rapidly increasing energy production and energy demand. This increases thermogenesis, and you basically walk around with a fever. It increases basal metabolic rate, and you get dramatic fat loss. Weight loss, sweating, fever, body temperature are extreme. I would literally be covered in sweat 24/7. I've taken it. It's awful. It doesn't go away. You don't get used to it. It doesn't subside. The more you take it, the worse it gets. It increases energy expenditure by 40%, resulting in a 2 to 3 pound fat loss per week. 3 pounds a week by itself. So let's say you're on a diet anyways. You're going to lose about a pound a week. That's what's typically average. If you're really working out, you've got your diet dialed in, and your strategy is good, you're doing some cardio, you're doing everything right, you're going to lose about a pound a week. And this is increased 2 to 3 pounds a week. That's ridiculous. However, there are some side effects. Sudden death. The hospital can't save you. So when you overdose on DNP, you're dead. You're just going to burn up, literally burn up. What happens is the body literally just gets so toxic, you get yellow spots all over you. And I had yellow blotches like on my stomach, on my chest, on my arms. Your pee turns yellow, your eyes turn yellow, something else turns yellow, which wait, I'm laughing because it's a little embarrassing. Yes, everything turns yellow. Bright yellow. Yellow, like it looks like somebody is sticking a neon sticker on your skin. But it burns fat dramatically. And you look at a set of stairs and you want to die because you're so exhausted. The only thing you look forward to doing is laying in bed with a bunch of towels. I literally would lay in bed. I'd lay out 4 or 5 towels, and I just lay there with my overhead fan and 2 fans directly on my face and 1 on my feet, blowing as hard on full blast. And I would just lay there, letting the fan blow on me, trying to get cool, because you cannot get cool. And I'd have my air conditioner right next to me as well, blowing cold air on me, and I would just be profusely sweating. Some people take it 250 to 600 milligrams a day. I took 300 milligrams a day and then moved up to about 500 milligrams a day once I knew I could tolerate it. And that's when the side effects started happening, meaning the yellowish skin blotches and everything. Man, peeing was like neon yellow. It almost glowed in the dark. It was quite something. It was horrific. It was horrible. It was not enjoyable at all. Every minute of my life at that several week period was miserable, hot, sweaty, tired, and you got to work out on top of it. But hey, it's for fat loss, right? So some people choose to get cut open. So I'm not gonna bash myself too hard, because some people will go and actually get cut open or get liposuction, and they get all these procedures and scalpel and have to go to anesthesia and go to the hospital. So I'm not crazy, I guess. I'm just different. It's poison, no doubt, and it will kill you at certain levels, and you can't be saved at the hospital. So good luck taking it. But the other compounds, clenbuterol, berberine, metformin, acetyl L-carnitine, vitamin D3, all are great in terms of a strategy to lose fat for a show or to just get in better shape. They're very good compounds to help you lose weight, minimal side effects, and they do work. DNP, not so much. Not the smartest thing in the world, but it's kind of funny to talk about. Please like, subscribe, comment below. My name is Todd Derry. This is TD's Fat to Fit. I'll talk to you soon.